Okay, so today we're really diving deep, huh?
Yeah, going deep
Yeah.
into phase 2 clinical trials.
Phase two. Now, everyone listening is already pretty interested in how new treatments, new therapies get, evaluated.
Right.
But this is really cool because, if you can understand what happens in phase two, you can start to sort of think critically about, all those promising headlines you see, like breakthrough and cure,
Exactly.
and you can kind of like get a little bit ahead of the curve and see for yourself if it really is all that.
It gives you that superpower to
Yeah.
actually really understand what's going on.
It does. It really does. So we're using these excerpts from this text you gave me,
Okay.
and we're going to like really unpack it. So phase two is, I was thinking about it. It's almost like this crossroads, right?
It is.
It's where you've done phase one, so you kind of know it's safe,
Right.
but now it's like, okay, does it actually?
Does it actually work?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, phase 1, it's all about safety. Just making sure that you can give this drug to a human being
Yeah.
and and they're not going to have some horrible reaction to it.
Right. It's not going to kill him.
Yeah. It's not going to kill them. That's the main thing. And then phase 2 is really where you start to look at efficacy.
Efficacy.
Does it actually work?
Okay. So see, now you're already talking my language. So efficacy. How well does it work? But how do you know?
Well, that's the thing about efficacy is, it's easy to say,
Yeah.
does it work?
Yeah.
But what does working
Yeah.
mean? So, like, if you have, let's say you have a chronic disease, are you looking for a reduction in symptoms?
Look.
Are you looking for a complete cure? Are you looking for a slowing down of progression?
Oh, so it really depends on
Sometimes
what you're looking at.
yeah.
So the researchers have to say, okay, for this trial,
Mm.
working means this.
Right.
And
Yeah.
not only that, but they have to figure out how to measure that.
Right.
So that's a whole other
It's a whole other
design.
challenge, yeah. And we're still doing all of this. We're still always keeping an eye on safety. We
Right.
want to make sure that
Gotta make sure it's still safe.
we're not curing one thing and causing another problem.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it looks like from the material here, phase two trials, they don't just take anyone.
Right.
It's very specific.
Very
for what I-
specific.
Yeah.
And this is what is often termed inclusion and exclusion criteria.
Okay.
And it's not about being exclusive. It's about making sure that the people who are in the trial
Right.
are the right people to actually answer the question that's being asked.
Makes it.
So, for example, if you're testing a new drug for heart failure, you might exclude people from the trial who also have severe kidney problems,
Okay.
because that could confound your results. That could make it look like the drug isn't working,
Yeah.
when really it's just that the kidney problems are interfering with it.
Okay, yeah. So you want to isolate as much as you can
Exactly.
the thing you're actually testing.
Exactly.
And then so you've got your people and you've got the thing you're testing. But then you have to like, I think they randomly assign them, right?
Randomly.
To make sure that, it's not like all the
You're not biasing.
Yeah, you're not biasing the study.
Randomization is absolutely key
Sure.
for a good investigation, because you want to make sure that the groups are
Yeah.
as comparable as possible.
And so some people get the new treatment
Yeah.
and some people might get the old treatment or a
Yeah,
placebo,
sure.
right?
Exactly. And
Right.
that's the control group. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The control group is really important because that gives you the benchmark
Okay.
to compare the new treatment to.
So you know that any effect you're seeing is actually from the new treatment.
Right.
Not just from like, the placebo effect or something like that.
That's exactly.
Got it. Now the source materials mentioned different kinds of phase two designs. What's all that about?
Well, it's kind of like you have all these different ways
Sure,
to
right.
do an investigation, right?
Yeah.
And you have to pick the right tool for the job. So, you might have a single arm trial. So this would be where, maybe it's a rare disease
Okay.
and there's just not enough people to have a control group.
You can't find enough people.
You can't find enough
Yeah,
people
right.
for a control group.
Okay.
So in that case, you might just give everyone the new treatment and see how they do. But then other times, for more common conditions, a randomized trial is really preferred, because that's where you get you randomly assign people to different groups and you get that real head-to-head comparison.
Okay.
Then you've got what are called selection designs. And this is really interesting
Yeah.
because this is where you're really trying to identify, not just does this drug work, but who does this drug work for?
Oh, so it's getting even more specific
More specific.
than just the condition itself, you're saying.
Exactly. Like
Okay.
which people within that group
Right.
will benefit from this treatment. And then you have phase 2 screening trials, and those can be really helpful in actually refining
Wow.
the selection criteria for future studies.
So you're actually using the phase 2
Using phase 2
to inform how to do.
how to do later stages
Yeah.
of research.
Okay, yeah. I can see how that would be really helpful.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of kind of moving parts
Yeah.
in how these trials are designed.
Mhm.
Now, I bet there's a lot of challenges.
There are always challenges. Like any good investigation, you're going to hit roadblocks and you're going to hit, things that you don't expect. And I think one of the biggest challenges in phase 2 is that balance between, wanting to get knowledge,
Yeah.
wanting to answer the question,
But also keeping people safe.
but keeping people safe.
Yeah.
Right. So it's always this, this weighing of, potential benefit against a potential risk.
Cool. But that is really, really fast.
And it is. And then, you have the whole evolving landscape of medical research, right?
Wow.
We have things now called adaptive designs.
Adaptive.
Yeah, where you can actually modify a trial
Oh.
in the middle
Wow.
based on the results you're seeing.
Just tells
So it's like if
you're a detective and you find a new clue,
yeah,
you're going to change your strategy.
totally.
Right.
Yeah.
And so adaptive designs allow you to do that. Okay. And I remember reading in the source material too about biomarkers.
Biomarkers, yeah.
And how that's
These are really interesting.
how that's starting to play a role too.
So, a biomarker is basically it's a biological indicator
Right.
that can tell us something about, how a patient might respond to a treatment or
Right.
how their disease might progress.
Okay. So are you saying that in the future we might be able to test someone's biomarkers and know
Exactly.
if a treatment will even work for them?
That's the hope.
That's amazing.
That's the whole idea behind personalized medicine, right?
Wow. So it's getting really, really fine tuned, huh?
It is. It's it's moving away from the one size fits all
Right.
approach to medicine and moving into this realm of, okay, let's figure out what's the right treatment
Yeah.
for the right patient
Okay.
at the right time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So next time, anyone listening, next time you hear about a new exciting treatment,
Yeah.
just remember phase 2 trials.
Think about it.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Like all those researchers beavering away
Behind the scenes.
yeah, behind the scenes, figuring out, is it safe? Does it work?
Yeah.
Figuring out all the complexities. And, they're really paving the way for all these amazing breakthroughs.
They really are. They're the unsung heroes
Hilo.
of medical research.
Yeah. I never even thought about it that way.
Yeah.
So I guess, one final thought I have is knowing all this now, knowing how this all works, how does this change how you think about medical research in the future?
Yeah.
Are you going to be digging in, trying to find out, okay, what did the phase 2 trial say?
Exactly.
Are you going to be that person now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely going to change the way I approach, reading about medical breakthroughs and things like that.
Right.
I'm going to be a lot more critical. Yeah.
And a lot more informed.
Yeah. All right. Well, food for thought, everyone. We'll catch you on the next deep dive. Keep those brains working.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.